Climate change and sustainable development, adaptive strategies. What is development? Development is a perpetual process enabling humans to expand in or realize their potentialities, to achieve a greater, better, fuller state of living. Utilization of natural resources forms the very basis of sustenance of human life, while nature has only limited regeneration capacity. Expansion of human population, increase in per capita demand of natural resources and release of chemicals altogether new to natural ecosystems, for example, chemical pesticides and plastics, innovated by humans over the last 2 centuries has resulted in global environmental changes, with adverse consequences for human well-being. Genesis of sustainable development. As increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere is the prime cause of climate change, reduction in emission of this gas and its sequestration from atmosphere are the prime requirements for reducing climate change-driven threats. Persistence of current climate change trend will threaten biodiversity conservation in future. Nevertheless, biodiversity, particularly forests and tree-based organic agriculture, could mitigate climate change and enhance human capacity to meet this challenge. International Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, IBS, and the Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation in Developing Countries Program of the United Nations, UNRED, are the 2 major international initiatives of the decade targeting biodiversity management as a means of meeting the challenges posed by global climate change and a poor state of human well-being in developing countries. While unprecedented rate of global warming in recent times is conclusively established, there is a huge variation in the estimates made on the rates of climate change. There is equally high uncertainty about the precipitation regimes, particularly the extreme events like drought and flood, in future climate. All scientific studies point to inevitability of climate change and the necessity of adapting to this change together with reducing its magnitude. Climate change mitigation and adaptation actions therefore, are to be taken in the face of scientific uncertainty of projected climate change scenarios. Climate change and different regions. The Earth system is such that sensitivity to impacts of climate change vary in space as also the potential of mitigating and adapting to this change. While highlands and islands are the regions most sensitive to climate change, the areas rich in forests or having potential for development of forests and organic agroforestry systems have a high potential of mitigating climate change. Areas rich in biodiversity become significant for offering a genetic base for developing new crop varieties and livestock breeds resilient to climate change and thus for food security in the changing climate. A region like Himalayan mountain system attracts more global attention than other mountain regions as it is exposed to higher magnitude of climate change and regulates the regional climate. It is one of the 34 global biodiversity hotspots and is part of one of the 8 centers of crop diversity and thus harbors biological resources with potential benefits to the global community. It stores the highest ice mass next to polar regions, feeding the mighty rivers like Indus, Ganges, Brahmaputra, Salween, and Mekong, supporting livelihoods of millions of poor people. It is covered by partly, fully the 8 developing countries, viz., Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, China, Bhutan and Myanmar, where climate change mitigation, adaptation and biodiversity conservation need to be coupled with socio-economic development of local people for ensuring sustainable flow of global benefits from it. That is, harmonization of the priorities for socio-economic development stressed by the local people and environmental conservation by the developed world. Climate change and biodiversity concern foster cooperation among the 8 developing Himalayan countries as well as between the developed and developing countries. Responding to the global importance of the Himalayas, India has drawn a national mission sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem as part of the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Sustainable Development and MDGs. With time, it was realized that achieving sustainable development was an ideal approach, and needed articulations in terms of concrete time-bound goals. This realization led to framing of the 8 Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, with each goal, except for the 8th one, promote global partnership, further broken down into specific targets, by the United Nations. Environmental sustainability is the goal which covers climate change along with other environmental issues like biodiversity, water resources and human habitats. While there is a significant progress in socio-economic spheres of development like reduction in hunger, poverty and mortality and promotion of equitable development over 2000 to 2015 period, there has been very limited success in the sphere of environmental development. Outcomes of efforts towards climate change mitigation and biodiversity conservation met very limited success. Biodiversity is the foundation of all ecosystem services, viz., provisioning services, regulating services, supporting services and cultural services, the benefits ecosystems provide, directly or indirectly, to humans, and the two together constitute the backbone of our resilience to climate change as well as any other ecological or economic shocks. Climate change and sustainable development. Climate change is one of the several dimensions of sustainable development. While averting climate change and achieving sustainable development are desired by all, there are conflicts of opinions about the solutions to achieve the goals as well as limitations of knowledge in designing perfect and universally acceptable solutions and resources to implement them. Global partnerships aim for capitalizing on the opportunities of cooperation for ground actions to the benefit of all. UN RED program is one such program providing a new opportunity of income to people in developing countries by conserving their forests and switching over to land uses with high carbon stocks, developed countries paying for carbon conserved and sequestered by people in developing countries. Conclusions. As climate change will affect both developed and developing countries, it has become the crucial agenda of international relations and a point of action driving convergence of social, economic and environmental development goals, and synergy or the best trade-off between short-term and long-term and local and global development goals. The goal of sustainable development is so vast and a problem like climate change is so complex, that we need to adopt the best available solutions without delay, monitor the outcomes and further improve the tried solution with new knowledge and experiences, a flexible and adaptive problem-solving strategy,